Well, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, Minister Adams, thank you very much for joining us. As someone who has spent much of my working life outside of New Zealand, and in fact going from New Zealand to overseas, back and forth, you become very aware of one thing, and that is the great thing about living in New Zealand is we're a long way from everywhere else. And the really bad thing about living in New Zealand is we're a long way from everywhere else. And so it's up to us, the people in this room and our colleagues and the industry that we're part of, to help our nation take advantage of those things. We can bring, through technology, we can bring the world closer to New Zealand and New Zealand closer to the world. So Minister Adams's remarks about, frankly, we'd better get moving, was sort of, I think, a summary of it, are well made. We absolutely need to get moving. We at Gen we understand that the business environment is changing. It's changing dramatically. Some of the video snippets that you heard from myself, in fact, all of the speakers, were all around the pace of change, and you'll be seeing that in your own organisations, whether you're working in and around government or you're working in the commercial sphere. None of us are immune from this. Things are moving very, very quickly. And so this presents all of us with a real challenge of how we access information sort of anywhere, anytime, anyhow we want to get it. So they're real challenges. At the same time that we've got all this opportunity and all these things to do, we're all under massive cost pressure. So, you know, to capture the value from this, organisations are having to adapt, and they're having to do so at great speed. So the opportunity and, frankly, the challenge we have at Gen is to work with you to make these things happen. So let me just tell you very briefly about why I joined Gen because you might know me, a lot of you, as the Vodafone guy. Because I was Russ Stanner's predecessor as CEO of Vodafone New Zealand, and then I was the chief executive of Vodafone in the UK. Having made the decision we were going to be back here in New Zealand, and also with my wife Jane saying to me, Tim, I've had quite enough help at home from you, could you please, fill in the blank, go out and find a job. I thought, what would I like to do in ICT? And I thought about it, and I thought, where's got the most capability? And it was really hard for me to get my head around it at the time, but I thought, you know, Gen And then I had to ask myself, do I really think that I could come here? And I thought, yep. And so I put my hat in the ring. So why am I telling you this? I want to be here because I believe this organisation truly has the ability to play a leading role in helping this transformation that's so important for your organisations and so important for New Zealand. So what have I found in the last 5 to 6 weeks? I found that all of the capability I thought was here really is here. But I've also found that sometimes we can trip over ourselves in how we deploy that to you. So the sort of pace of change Jim's talking about is from the first week I was here, we're undertaking a number of activities designed to streamline what we do and to speed up our business so we can more effectively help you speed up your business. We need to move at greater than the pace of the market. And sometimes we do that quite well. And as I said, sometimes it's a bit like going through treacle. So we've got some pretty major changes we're making, and it's all centered around you, our customers and our clients. How do we serve you? What do we provide you with? What portfolio? What does it look like? What changes should we be making so we can be of the most relevance to you? And that is exactly what we're doing. So at our core, we're in the business, in my view, of managed infrastructure. Whether it's networks, IT, or a combination of the above, that's what we do. And we do that stuff really, really well. And we're making big investments to make that happen. I mean, the telecom group of which we're part and ourselves, we have a massive capex each year. I mean, you know, many, many hundreds of millions. And you can look at annual reports. Typically, it's in the 400 to 500 million. In some years, it's as much as $1 billion a year. We spend more money on this than anyone else. And we do it to create capability for you to harness when it's appropriate. And we're continuing to do that. So the first thing we are building is the best platform for fixed and mobile that there is. And you will know, or many of you, that we've announced we're building out an optical transport network because that's the backbone of both our fixed and mobile network. Why? Because it allows us to move data at the fastest possible rate with the best possible economics that we can provide to you. And of course, the right amount of reliability. So we're doing that. We've been running customer trials for 4G for over 4 weeks, both here in Wellington and in Auckland, and I think one of the subsequent speakers, Richard from Alcatel-Lucent, will talk a little bit more about that. And we're going to be launching our commercial service a little later in the year, but we want the whole platform to be right. As I said, the backbone, the fibre out to the nodes, and then of course the technology that is on the mast, which is actually what people think of as 4G. So we'll be launching that a little later this year. Data centres, another very important thing. We've got a very successful business in data centres. Our board, before my arrival, approved a very substantial investment in additional data centres. One's just been completed in Christchurch, one's to be built here, and more capacity in Auckland. We already have a lot of capability. This is building on what we already do. And since I've arrived, we've also decided, because I think it's really important, we really up our game in the area of cloud. We already have a lot of capability, but from the folk that I talk to, the clients I talk to, that's something that people are saying is going to be very important to them going forward. So we're going to accelerate our capacity in that area. So this is our plan, and the commitment I can give you that it's not going to be a plan around Gen I or telecom, it's going to be a plan around you, our customers. Our business has to change. Chorus is gone. Chorus is that big thing that chugs and it just, money comes out the bottom of it. That part's gone. So we at Gen I, and telecom frankly, we will succeed or not based on the level, the job that we do for you. That's the basis of what it is we're setting out to do. So these are my priority. I think this is a huge potential in our organisation, huge capability, and my commitment to you is to make sure that we alter our business in the ways we need to make things happen for you. In Wellington, it means more capability. It means more decision-making coming here to Wellington. As a Wellingtonian, I know how important this market is, and I know you need to be based here and you need decision-making here, not in Auckland or anywhere else, and that is going to happen.